Hello there, welcome to Cansanity. Today we're going to be making easy ground turkey tacos. A recipe that comes together really quickly, is delicious, and because you add white kidney beans to the ground turkey mix, you really stretch out your 1 pound of ground turkey. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is heat 1 tablespoon of olive oil in a frying pan. A large frying pan, and then you're going to add in either 1 pound of white, light ground turkey or dark. Doesn't matter, whatever you prefer. So I just happen to have some light, and so then I'm just going to add that to my pan. So I have all my ground turkey in there, and I'm going to fry this for 10 minutes on medium high. Make sure that you get in there and you break up your ground turkey as it's cooking. And I'll just set my timer. And in 10 minutes or until your ground turkey is cooked through. Okay, so while my ground turkey is cooking, I'm going to cut up an onion, and on the recipe I say 1 medium onion, so that would probably be 3 of these. I'm going to throw in the extra. I just happen to have some small onions, so you want to have that fairly fine. And I have gloves on because I'm also going to be cutting up some jalapeno. So first cut up the onion so it's fine. Nice and fine. I'm just chopping a fine slice, not all the way to the end so that the stem end kind of holds the onion together. This is just the way that I like to chop onion when I want a fine dice. If I'm chopping it so that I don't really care about the size, I don't really worry too much about cutting it so precise, because I want this more minced. So this is going to be more than enough onion, so I'm actually going to just leave that. So you want to have one medium onion chopped in small dice, and then 1 jalapeno. So these are jalapenos that I still have from my garden. Believe it or not, it's almost Christmas. 1 more month, 1 more week, and it's December 1st, not even, and I still have jalapenos from my garden. They were picked about a month ago, or maybe a week ago, these ones, maybe 2 weeks ago, and they've just been continuing to ripen, and so I like my red jalapenos. So in my recipe on my website, I say to use 1/2 of a jalapeno. I like things spicy, so I'm going to throw in a whole jalapeno, and I don't really care if there's chunks in there, because I like that heat. I like to bite into a little bit of heat. So my ground turkey is almost done, so as soon as that's done, I'm going to transfer the ground turkey to a plate, and then I'm going to fry up the onions and jalapeno and my minced garlic. Okay, so my turkey is done. I'm just going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on the ground turkey before I take it out of the pan and fry the rest of my ingredients, just to seasoning the layers. So this is nice done. Now, you know, It's okay if it's not completely cooked because you're going to put it back in the pan and fry it with the rest of the ingredients and put a little bit and simmer it with a little bit of the chicken broth. But, you know, it should be cooked after 10 minutes. So I'm just going to move that onto a plate. And then now I'm going to add another tablespoon of olive oil, and I'm going to let that heat up. And then I'm going to start frying my veggies. So I've made this without jalapeno before because I haven't had it in the house, and I've just added some chili flakes instead. So add your onions and your jalapeno. Now you want to cook this until you've softened it a bit. So I'd cook this for 3 to 5 minutes. And if you're in a rush, you know, you can cook this for a minute. Like, you can lower the time. But I usually cook it for about 3 minutes. And then I add in the garlic. I don't add the garlic in right away because garlic, if you cook it too long, can kind of have a burnt flavor, especially if you don't have any liquid in there. So I just cook the onions and the pepper up first, and I'll have the rest of my ingredients set aside. I have a half a cup of chicken broth reserved. I have my 1 can of white kidney beans, rinsed and drained, and then I have my spices. So that's cooked enough for the demonstration anyway. So I'm going to stir, and I'm going to add my garlic and saute that up for 30 seconds to a minute. And 1 large garlic clove is enough. The garlic cloves I had today were a little bit small, so I'm using 2. Let's get that stirred. I could just eat this. It smells so good. Now you're going to add in your spices. So you're going to add about a teaspoon of cumin. I love cumin, so I don't care if it's a little bit more. A teaspoon of coriander. And you want to awaken the spices, so add them now before you add your liquid, so that they heat up and the flavor comes through. And 1 teaspoon of ancho chili pepper is what I use. I'm just going to add a little bit more there. Now you're going to add some salt and pepper, but you don't need to add that right now. Then you stir that up and have those spices warm through. Just activates the flavor. Okay, now you're going to add your ground turkey back into the pot. And stir. Now, if you do not want to put any heat in your ground turkey tacos, that's fine. You can just leave the jalapeno out and just use the chili powder for your flavoring, and your cumin and your coriander. Then you add your white kidney beans. And you see how that 1 pound of ground turkey now is stretching because you've added those nice white kidney beans in there. And then I usually add some more salt and pepper. Stir. You can see how beautiful that looks already. And now you want to simmer it a bit with a bit of chicken broth. So I just add a half a cup of chicken broth in there. Bring that temperature up a little bit so that you can get that simmering. And you really want to just cook that until the liquid is evaporated. So that will take, you know, about 5 minutes. So we'll just let that cook away. And while that's cooking up, we're just gonna get the rest of the ingredients together. Now, this is some guacamole that I made 2 days ago. I have put a video on the website on how to make guacamole and how to find and what to look for in a good avocado, how to freeze avocado. So take a look at that video if you're interested. And the other ingredients we're going to need is for our tacos is the sour cream. I like to put cilantro on mine. I have my homemade salsa. The recipe's on the website as well as on the YouTube channel. It's my Mama's Chunky Salsa, so take a look at that. And so, chunky tomato salsa. So now I'm just gonna cut up some tomatoes to top our tacos, because that's how we like to roll here. These are tomatoes that I am still ripening on my dining room table from my garden, and I'm gonna be out of tomatoes by December, I think, by the end of December or mid-December, but they still keep coming at me. So I like to chop up some tomatoes, and if I have some lettuce, I'll have that also on top of my tacos. I don't happen to have any lettuce today, so I'm not going to bother with that. And this is just rough. Care if it's, I don't mind if it's big and chunky. And the other thing that I like to have on my tacos, if I happen to have it in the house, is a squeeze of lime. So I've already thrown my limes in the microwave for 15 seconds and rolled them on the counter like that, just to loosen them up, so that when I go to squeeze that lime juice on my tacos, it's going to be easy to do. So I like to have that. Now, just to make things easy, I just bought some hard taco shells so that this dinner would come together quickly. You can use this ground turkey taco mix in if you like tortillas. Put it in a wrap. It tastes excellent that way as well. And then I'm just going to grate up some cheese. Okay, so this is done, and you can see that there isn't any liquid left in the pan. It's all been absorbed by the beans or evaporated. And I wanted to say that if you want to add more chili powder or more coriander or more cumin, go ahead. You know, if you like those spices, you want it to be more intense in flavor, then add more. Sometimes I add more chili powder. So that's just the base on the website, Cansanity.com, but make it your own. So now we're going to assemble a taco. Okay, so the way I like to assemble my tacos is I like to put the cheese, a little bit of cheese on the bottom, because that taco meat is warm, and so I put that on the bottom first. Just a little bit. And then I add in my taco meat, about, you know, a good couple tablespoons. I'll leave room for all the ingredients, so add that. And then I like to put some nice guacamole in there. And some sour cream. Spread that down a little bit. Am I making you hungry? And then some fresh tomatoes. Not too many, because I want to put the salsa in there too. And then I have forgot to mention these beautiful pickled jalapenos. Oh, my absolute favorite. And you know, when you pickle jalapenos, they're not super hot, so don't be afraid to try pickling jalapenos. Even if you don't like heat, they are just delicious They're pickled, and the recipe for my pickled jalapenos is on Cansanity.com. And then my salsa, which on Cansanity.com is called Mama's Chunky Tomato Salsa. So, doesn't that look delish? And then I like to give a little squeeze of some lime juice. This is not very juicy lime, but just a little bit. And you can even get lime flavored taco shells if you want to skip that step. And then if you like cilantro, add it. If you don't like it, leave it out. You can also add parsley if you want. And there you go. There's my tacos. Okay, so I'm just finishing up some tacos for the cameraman. And I couldn't be doing these videos without him. So I have to feed him. And so I'm just putting my tomatoes on and the cilantro. And we're almost set to sit down and watch some tube. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.